from church a little bit ago. So it is meal prep time. Don't mind the loud. My kiddos are going outside to play and they're really excited. So I have the recipes right here and I will just start constructing. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Everything that I'm cooking today is actually from a cookbook that somebody on TikTok published. It's just, I found that the stuff that they do is really easy to meal prep and eat later. So if you want information on that, or I'll link her stuff in the description, her name, and she has other cookbooks than the one that I'm using, but this is just the one that I have. But I've heard great things about other stuff. And so far I've cooked many different things in it and they're all delicious and they're super easy to get done. So yeah, hope you enjoy. So I'm just gonna go grab some russet potatoes for my first recipe. The recipe calls for 3 large russets. I'm assuming these are large, but I'm just gonna grab these and go ahead and rinse them off and get them ready to be diced. I'm gonna go ahead and brown some hamburger to make some taco meat for that recipe. I don't know where or what it's called, the little spatula that I use, but I highly recommend one. I feel like it makes my ground beef so much easier to cook because I like it to be small little chunks when it comes to anything I have ground beef in, whether it's taco meat, hamburger helper, whatever you use it for. I like smaller chunks. I don't like bigger chunks. So having that tool makes it way easier than sitting there chopping at it with a spatula. I'm gonna add those diced potatoes to this baking sheet, put a little bit of olive oil on them, cover them completely, and put on the seasonings that I have, which is garlic powder, onion powder, seasoning salt, lemon pepper, and a little bit of Creole seasoning. Not a bunch, but just a little bit for a kick. I have kind of a sensitive stomach, so I don't like to use a ton of it, just enough for a little bit of a kick. Now I'm just going to add some taco seasoning to that meat. I don't add the whole package. I add about half just because there is a high sodium content and I like to watch my sodium. So I'll add about half the packet and save the rest and then add some water to it. I'm not sure if I add the amount that it says, I just add enough. I kind of eyeball mine and then mix that around. And then I'll put some of that taco seasoning away for later for a different part of this recipe. Now I'm just going to go ahead and scramble some eggs for a different recipe that I'm doing for this week. Please don't judge the way that I crack eggs. I am not an expert. I wish I was one of those people that was talented enough with cracking an egg with one hand. Not me. Not skilled in that way. In fact, I generally make a mess where I'm hitting it on the counter and I have to wipe it down because I am messy. Now here the potatoes are done and cooling off, and I'm starting those scrambled eggs in the pan. And to those, I'm just going to do some seasoning salt and some pepper. Now I know that they're probably not the best for you, but I don't want to have to brown more meat than I'm already doing in the pan. So to add this turkey sausage in, I'm just doing these microwavable patties, and then I will cut them up with some kitchen scissors. It just makes it easier for me. And they're still tasty, so Don't judge. Mom hacks. And here I'm using my trusty scale. I am breastfeeding my daughter, and I like to portion out my meals specifically with nutritious increments, specific proteins, specific calories. Just makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing as far as what I'm inputting in my body to then input in hers. So I'll just portion these out, and of course I'm doing potatoes on the bottom. Then I will layer it with that taco meat that I made earlier. On top of that, we'll do a little bit of queso, not too much. Again, I have a sensitive stomach, so just enough for some flavor. And then on top of that, I do these low-cal tortillas that I have. The person who recommends this cookbook, or who does this cookbook, recommends a bunch of stuff in it as far as low-calorie. And these tortillas are the best low-calorie tortillas I've ever had. They're still soft, like regular flour tortillas. You barely notice the difference. So, highly recommend those. So then I put those tortillas on top, and then on top of that, I will mix a Greek yogurt with some of that taco seasoning from earlier and put that on top, and then some shredded cheese. And then I just pop the lids on, and later I can just microwave them. And so far I've had them a couple days in a row, and they are delicious. Definitely recommend those. And I will say that doing these meal preps on Sunday has made my life so much easier. As I've said before, I am a type B person, but I try to force myself to do type A things. And this has improved my ability to be a mom so much. Isn't that just so satisfying, being able to put the lids on so that you can put them in the fridge? At least it is to me. It's like, yes, I did it. But being able to do this gives me more time to hang out with my family in the morning, get my kids ready, because I can just pop these as soon as I get them up into my lunchbox, and I'm good for the day, instead of having to make the meals that I'm going to eat that morning. And it's a lifesaver, to be honest. So right now I'm taking those turkey sausages and cutting them up with kitchen scissors, and I'm going to go ahead and construct a breakfast burrito. So I'll lay that tortilla down, use the Laughing Cow cheese as a spread, put some egg on it, layer it with those meats, and then roll it up. And please don't mind my rolling skills. I am not an expert. I do the best that I can. The ingredients is inside. That is all that counts for me right now. And it's tasty. And these I just pop in the fridge, and I can air fry them in the morning for Austin. And it helps because he's diabetic, so he has to take medication in the morning, but he has to take it with food. So these are so easy, and he loves it. So while I'm doing all of these different foods at the same time, just to make it go by quicker, I am cleaning as I go, putting dishes away as I go. I'll stop maybe and load some in the dishwasher. That way, as soon as I'm done, I'm just done. This process only takes me, an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I get the rest of my Sunday with my kids and just to relax or do laundry or maybe clean the house a little bit, but mostly be able to have the time with my kiddos. This cookbook that I use has made it so much easier. I used to have to spend hours meal prepping for the whole week with the recipes that I would just find on Pinterest, but this has provided me with knowledge on how to utilize like my air fryer and my microwave and my stovetop all at the same time to be able to meal prep different things. So that way I get done at a decent time, but a bunch gets done. So with that egg mixture, I'm adding some sausage to it and some bacon, and then throwing it in the oven. And then I'm just browning some more hamburger for another meal that I'm doing for Austin. Now, I don't know who knows this trick. My mom taught me this trick. You just push the meat aside and use a paper towel to soak up the grease so it doesn't end up in your pipes or in your food. It also saves you a dish from having to drain it. So I just soak it up and then throw it away, and no fuss, no muss. And I'm just seasoning that with some garlic powder, onion powder, and seasoning salt and some Creole seasoning. So here is my breakfast option for the week, a little breakfast sandwich. So I take those English muffins, and I have that egg mixture came out, and I cut some squares out of it, almost like a casserole texture. And you just throw on a slice of cheese, the egg mixture, and wrap it up and put it in the fridge. And then when I go to heat it up, I put the sandwich in the microwave for about 45 seconds, and then I add some mayo to it. It's pretty good. I actually prefer it over something from like McDonald's. So here's the lunch option for Austin. I'm just going to go ahead and put some cottage cheese in a bowl. The recipe says that you can blend it to make it really smooth. We don't really care about the texture, so I'm not going to dirty the dish. I just put that cottage cheese in there, add our pasta sauce. Austin really likes this pasta sauce, and it's pretty easy on the sugars, which is good because he's a diabetic. I just mix that together in a bowl, and then I add my garden rigatoni to these meal prep bowls, and I add the meat that I made the second time on top of it, then the sauce mixture, and then some skim mozzarella, and pop it in the fridge. He says that he loves it. He's had it a couple days now, and he says it's really good. So try it. I will link the cookbook with all the recipes and things in the description below for anybody that's curious. So yeah, the rest of the egg mixture, I just pop in the fridge for insides of burritos for my kids for the mornings, or if they just want to eat it as like a casserole. But again, these save me every week because it's time that I'm not taking away from them. And plus, like this recipe, I have extras. So I just throw it into a container, and it can be an extra meal for me if I need dinner one night and the kids in Austin are eating something else, or I can heat it up for the kids if they would rather have it for their dinner. It just makes it easy. And then usually throughout the week, I will do a crock pot meal so that I don't have to stand at a stove after work. I really like to make things as simple as possible to make it easier on me because, again, I'm type B and I have a lot of chaos. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any recommendations or you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. But thanks for joining me on my meal prep Sunday. Have a good one.